Hey, welcome back to Mind Your Biz. My name is Seth, and in this episode of the Creator Highlight Series, I'm pleased that I am joined by none other than recording artist, but also host of the Upgraded Show. You probably know him from hits like I Can Lead You to the Money, among other really great Web3 oriented music. His name is Cassius Cuvée. You've heard him about in Poppin' Crypto, but here's the man, the myth. Cassius, welcome to Mind Your Biz.
Man, thanks for having me on Mind Your Biz, man. It's been a long time coming. You always been a great brother to me in the Web3 space, so I appreciate coming on.
Yeah, man, you're right about that. It's a fact. Long time coming. Should have had you on way earlier, but shoulda, woulda, couldas. We made it happen. We finally got something scheduled. Yeah, exactly. Right. We set these problems fast. Set these problems right as fast as we can, and sometimes it takes a while. But really appreciate you making the time for this, man, and really appreciate you being willing to work around the schedule that I had available. I batch these, so there are only so many recording dates that I have available, based on other marketing work that I do and coordinating work that I do. But that's a little bit too much about me. Cassius, you are a busy man. You're a guy who is known in the Bay Area. You're a guy now who's known in the crypto ecosystem. You've done some collabs with people who are notable, like Spotty Wi-Fi. You've done some collabs with another friend of mine, Nessie, if I'm not mistaken. You're known, right, in this space. Let's bring people back a little bit, though. Like, you weren't always known in the crypto space. So who was Cassius before crypto?
All right, man. Well, thanks for having me on. I'm the host of Upgraded, and that's my new show. But yeah, before that, gosh, so let's see. So let's start with the pandemic, man. I'm going to start right there. Stock market crashed. Everybody's sitting at home. I was, telling a similar story as a lot of folks where, I already kind of knew about the stock market and stuff, but that was when I really started trading. And I really started to make a long story short, I got into like the SPAC community on Twitter. Now, this is before I was in crypto. And I made a song about it called SPAC Dream that basically went viral over the weekend on Twitter. And then I wake up Monday morning, it was the day after the Super Bowl, and I'm on CNBC. They're playing my music video on CNBC. So that kind of got everybody going like, what the hell? Like, it was a rap video on CNBC. So, I mean, it was kind of about like capturing a moment in time, that feeling that everybody had as an artist. I'm a trader, of course, an investor, but as an artist, it's a lot of times, especially about a music video, it's like capturing lightning in a bottle. So I was able to do that. This is now February of 2021. And had everybody saying, you need to make an NFT, make an NFT. And I'm like, well, what the hell is an NFT, right? It's like,
right.
The first week of February in 2021, it wasn't a lot of NFTs, So basically, I couldn't wait to go to this. Somebody had told me about an NFT class that was coming up. It's called the Oakland Art Museum. I go down there. It was a few weeks after that, maybe 4 or 5 weeks. And that was the first time that somebody had truly explained what blockchain technology is to me. And I, of course, knew about Bitcoin, but I didn't understand like what Ethereum blockchain was. And I didn't know what an NFT was. So, obviously to learn what an NFT is, you got to know what blockchain is. And once that was explained to me, how it's basically immutable, it's data online, how it's the new third iteration of the internet, like that, those basic fundamentals, it was like, oh, like, you don't got to twist my arm. Like, once I understood what it was, like, I can't like unlearn it. So for me, I was kind of all the way in after that. And then, the guy who was teaching the class, he was like, man, we gotta make you an NFT. You know what I'm saying? And so then, as far as I know, I'm the first recording artist to ever make a music video NFT. And I made that out of SPAC Dream. Also made a documentary of the Bitcoin 2021 conference, made an NFT out of that. These are on Rarible. And that kind of launched me into crypto. And just when I went to the Bitcoin Miami, that was the first time I got to actually meet folks in real life and learn from more people besides that one guy. And that's how I got into the communities, by going to in real life events. That's where I met you at an in real life event. Went to NFTLA. I made the music video called In Real Life. You know what I'm saying? About NFTLA and Bitcoin Miami 2022. And I kind of been going ever since then. That's why I go to the in real life events all the time.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. So it sounds like then at first real exposure, first really understanding about how blockchain technology works, maybe a little bit about how royalties can be split, and about how immutable smart contracts can make your life easier in terms of doing business and automating certain business functions. It sounds like that just resonated with you immediately, and you were all in. Is what you said about that. That's not everybody's experience.
There's a second part of that too. I still didn't understand really decentralized finance until I was on the plane to Bitcoin Miami, and somebody from Chicago, a brother by the name of Big John, sat down on the other side of me. I knew I was going to write my song Tokenomics. I already was kind of learning about it, very excited about it. And he explained to me like what DeFi was. And, you know, you hear the crypto people are kind of always like paranoid folks like yourself sometimes about the big government looking at you. And at that time, I didn't really understand why they're so tripping. And then he said to me, he's like, I said, what's DeFi? I said, you know, decentralized finance. What does that mean? He's like, you know, we have a centralized banking system. And I was like, oh, of course. Like, that was when I was like, okay, bro. Like, now I get why everybody's paranoid. This threatens to upset the whole entire system, right? Because the people now have the control in the decentralized fashion. So after that, it was like, okay, this is actually bigger than money. This is about, you know, self-sovereignty. Like, I fully understood it. Because remember, this is before I went to the Bitcoin conference. So then going to it, sitting in the front row, I sat in the front row of it, listened to everybody speak and really like capture the vision of what it was all about. Somebody explained to me what the white pages were. You know, I honestly, the guy who I was going with, like, it was kind of on a fluke. He's like, well, I'm going. Do you want to come? And I was like, well yeah, I want to come, you know? So it was like all last minute. And so like, really, I kind of got a crash course, just dove right into everything all at once.
That's amazing, man. And seriously, the fact that it resonated with you so well and that you understood how the value was transferred and you realized, okay, like there's efficiencies here. There's also fewer failure points, like you're saying, also that concept of decentralization, how it resonated with you with the right explanation. I think there's a huge kind of meta story here in your onboarding that tells me that we all need to get better about being much more personal in our onboarding. That it took this guy it was a Big John, you said?
Yeah,
that,
he's really only like the second person I ever met about crypto. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. Yeah, but it sounds like, you know, he was gracious enough to be like, yeah, let me tell this guy about how all this works. But then he also talked to you in a way that was like he met you where you were. Literally, you're rather there on a plane. He met you where you were, both physically, but also just in terms of, you know, you coming from this background of you're like, yeah, I know you got the SPAC dreams, right? Music video that I think you originally did you mention it was SPAC dreams you had done that you were already working on before you were aware of blockchain, right?
Yeah, so SPAC dream was about a SPAC. People don't know is a special purpose acquisition corporation. Is a type of stock in the stock market, a way of taking a company public, right? And it was a big fervor, just like I won't say like meme stocks, a little bit different meme stocks, but you know, at that time period, there was kind of meme stocks, crypto, and SPACs were kind of like the thing that was like the new hot thing. You know how it is. You get these speculative fervors. With SPACs, there was like a specific way that we could trade them, where you could like safely be park your money in a pre-definitive SPAC. So there was like a limit to the downside. And then when they announced a merger, they would like pop. So it was like a whole thing that I was in early on, like before it got real popular. I just released a song like right at the perfect time. So it was like super. And I knew what was going on. I had enough forethought to see. So I was like, I got to hurry up and put this out. So that was certainly before blockchain. It was only then that people started telling me I need to make an NFT. And that was when I had to look into it.
Yeah. So with all of that in mind, like this person kind of realizing that, okay, this is who the hell I'm talking to, is this guy that made a video like SPAC Dream before he was even aware of crypto. And then the moment he was aware of crypto, went ahead and minted an NFT of this thing. Like this is like all of us informs, I think this guy, Big John, the kind of language that he would use and the kind of examples that he would give you and the kind of just conversation that you would have about cryptocurrencies and blockchain in general. So I think that's what I'm hearing also, is that with onboarding, it's kind of got to be personal, man. I mean, the YouTube was filled with hundreds of videos that you could have looked up, but it was this guy, Big John, that you had this conversation with, that for you was one of the deciding factors in, like, as you put it, being like, no, I'm in, man, but let's do this. So
no, that's a very good point, at least for me. And I know for others as well, because of all the people out here who would call me and should I buy Dogecoin and this and this and that. And I didn't even know. I was like, I understood enough to know that Dogecoin was like a meme coin and didn't, you know, but in that there was an unlimited supply as opposed to Bitcoin, which had 21 million supply. Like I knew enough to know that much, but like you would think I would have looked more of it up on YouTube, to be honest with you. But hell, I was trading stocks. I was doing well. I'm watching CNBC every day. But this goes to show also how little the mainstream educates folks on blockchain, right? Even to this day.
Oh, yeah.
So I always still keep my ear on what the mainstream is talking about because I want to see the difference. But now, obviously, I watch, I don't know, a dozen YouTube channels a day or whatever, as many as I can. And so I keep my finger on the pulse of what our community is talking about, when I say our community, more like Web3, Bitcoin, and crypto, as well as what the mainstream is talking about, as far as how it relates to the macro environment and stuff like that as well. So yeah, they definitely don't teach you the same stuff they teach you on YouTube. And for me, a personal touch is what opened up for me to want to investigate more.
That's amazing. I love that. That's the way that it really unlocked for you and that really got you on board. Let's talk a little bit about kind of like up to this point. We met in, I think, the first time in Las Vegas at the Money 2020 event. Like that was literally the first time we'd ever met. And you were there with a camera person. You were there shooting content that I thought was like behind the scenes content. And then I came to find out later on when you were like, oh yeah, by the way, that was all music video. And you were doing some lines, and like you were rolling out some of the lines. You were rapping right there. And I was still thinking like, yeah, this is BTS. Got to be BTS. And then you do this music video, and you're like, oh yeah, you're in it. And you like point out, I'm like, oh yeah, I guess that's pretty cool, man. I hadn't thought that I'd ever be in a music video, but you mind if I roll a bit of this?
Yeah, play it. Let's we'll talk about it after. Go ahead.
If you really understand me, you'll be richer than your granny, and then every generation in your family. I can lead you to the money, filling up the bags. And they know I'ma break it down. The same old trader with the SPACs. When the bears swing on you, then you better swing back. Everything is down, but they can't just shake us. I came from the town, now I hang with rich bankers.
Yeah, man. So Crypto 101 podcast, you got Megan, you got so many like BitBoy, all these faces, all these notable people in this industry, and you're like, yeah, I'm pretty much gonna show up and just run shit. It's awesome.
You know, it's funny because the for people who don't know, Money 2020 is a fintech conference in Las Vegas. It's really big, like one of the biggest fintech conferences in the world. So it's a lot of institutional banks there, but we live in the modern age. So there's also some crypto companies, Web3, but not everybody's like necessarily exactly pro crypto there, as opposed to like other crypto events that we normally go to. So, I'm the guy with green and gold hair with dollar signs braided in it at the time, like walking around the microphone, interviewing people on, what their bank has to do with blockchain technologies, anything. So yes, I did make a long, like hour-long, version of it. But then also I made the music video as well while I was there. You see Crypto Megan, you see BitBoy, yourself. A podcast. My man Pizza Mind, and like there's like a whole bunch of non-exactly people who are crypto and fun related with colored grain braids talking on the video. And
yeah. Well, that's just it. I mean, this is subversive, Cassius, because most people they interact with a dude who's got that level of branding to them that you had, right? And it is branding, right? This is a stage presence that you wear with you, right? And it's real swagger, but it's also they talk to you, and you're like, oh yeah, actually, I kind of know a thing or two about investing, which is why I'm here, by the way. I know a thing or two about investing. So you have a conversation. They have this conversation with you, and they're like, oh, this guy really gets it. Like this is all part of that personal brand. And the brand of, that you've gone through the brand of Pop and Crypto and Cassius Cuvée, right? Who's become beyond just like, whatever you were doing before. And it is, you can kind of break some people's expectations with that, right? The last person they spoke to who had their hair done the way you did is not an investor. That's like nine times out of 10, the last cultural experience they had around people who dress and look and act like this, they're like, nah, man, I don't expect you to be so savvy, right?
Well,
so I think you broke a lot of brains.
This is the other side of it. The fact that no one who really looked like me was there is also why I'm doing it, because I have plenty of friends back home who don't have the financial literacy that I didn't have it either, right? Like who are looking to learn more about financial literacy, learn more about investing. Enough people understand about inflation and why their dollar's not worth as much it is today as it was 10 years ago. Like they get that concept, right? People know the system ain't working for them, right? So part of the reason I went to Money 2020, and this is the non-fun part, but the important part is to like show people who wouldn't have otherwise gotten a ticket to that event that cost, I don't know, $3,000 or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, thankfully I got a press pass, you know what I mean? But like, I got there on a press pass to interview these folks and actually bring the information back to people who wouldn't otherwise be included in this conversation, to say, hey, look, this is what big banks and the people who control our money are talking about, and this is what they're doing. So that's why the longer version of all the interviews was like almost an hour long, because it was like, I want to get the feedback from everybody, and then you can go on my YouTube channel. You can watch the video if you really, if you really want to, and see what they're saying about the adoption of blockchain and how finances are going to be moving in the future like that. Because who else? I don't know anybody else who's there, kind of representing the folks that I'm, trying to showcase this to. So
man, no, there are very few people. Yeah, no, for just sharp interruption there, man. Yeah, very few people represent real culture, right? When it comes to like non-traditional background, non-traditional finance backgrounds, you're like the crypto and finance Prometheus, right? Bringing fire to the people, right? Bringing fire back down right from the mountain. So like, it's pretty amazing, man. I think a lot of times, especially going to these events, like, and even within the press, like, not to make it weird, but within like press and different people you interact with, there is this kind of idea of an us versus them, right? Sort of ivory tower people versus the rest of us who are just, getting involved and don't have the traditional background, didn't get a modest $10 million loan from our parents to get started in the world, like whatever Donald Trump did or whoever, right? Like,
even crypto versus TradFi, right? We're
yeah.
both finance, but even DeFi, versus TradFi there's a little bit of a divide there, and even like, I think it was Adam was like, oh, money 2020, it's not for crypto people or something, he was there, of course, but he's in the music video too. But I'm like, me being me, I'm comfortable going into places that I'm different than everybody. I'm good with it.
Yeah, no, it's clearly you made the most of the opportunity too, where you're like, all right, we're gonna make something very useful out of this, very, very good and instructive. It was great though, man. As you already know, I'm a huge fan of the work that you're doing. I think it's important for the reasons that you said, right? You're representing all the people in that room that don't look like you and that aren't there, that either have been priced out or have been intentionally left ignorant of how that all works, right? Like there's a lot of people. The Henry Ford quote talking about it's just as well that people don't know how the Federal Reserve works or how the central banks work, because if they did know, there would be in the streets, right? So like most people, once they finally realize, like, oh my God, the money that I'm holding in my hand is like not even worth the paper it's written on, right? Not even worth the paper it's printed on. That there would be pandemonium, honestly, if people actually got it. But yeah, anyway, I mean,
we're lucky we live in a time with blockchain technology, with Bitcoin and, some sort of alternative global, borderless peer-to-peer transaction mechanism, right? This didn't exist before 2009, right? So, I mean, I wish I had known about it sooner, because it didn't, some people, it takes a whole bunch of arm twisting and stuff to like kind of explain it to them. You're like, don't you get it? It didn't take no arm twisting for me. What I'm saying? All I needed was one exposure. So now everybody knows me. If they can't come to me 5 years from now and be like, I didn't know. No, I told you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I gave you an opportunity, at least to look deeper and to say, like, so here's the thing. For those who don't know, my show is called Upgrade. It used to be called Poppin' Crypto. I bring on founders and CEOs of Web3 projects, and I interview them. And one thing I do is I write a custom song about each project. Now, part of the reason I do that is because I like to have some fun in the space, but it's also like very meticulously written and educational. And I want people to just try to, however, to get some exposure to it. Largely what I'm talking about, largely what I'm doing is not about Cassius Cuvée. Largely I'm pointing to a place of where you can go to get more information. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, sure, I'm going to give you some game. For sure, I'm going to give you some game. But I'm like, but subscribe to this YouTube channel. Tap into Mind Your Biz. It's going to teach you about wallets and privacy and a lot of the cool technical stuff that's like more complex than I can easily explain to you, but I know how valuable it is, right? Like, that's a lot of what I'm doing, is pointing them in the direction of where I learned from, as opposed to just, hey, I'm not selling them a course. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really selling anything. I'm more just to try to highlight the cool stuff and hopefully have some fun with it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Definitely seeing some of that journey since I've met you, and then kind of seeing where you've been able to go so far is exciting. Talk to us about some exciting dates for you, stuff that you're really looking forward to in the near future, in the near term. You mentioned it's not going to be a course, right? We're not going to see a Cassius Cuvée or an upgraded course, right? Paid course or anything, or trading group or anything like that. But what are you excited about?
So just for right immediate future here, and this will probably air right at the time, maybe when it's coming out, but I'm going to go to Rare Evo in Denver. I just dropped a music video last week called No Discussion, which is actually loosely about like trolls on the internet. How I don't even argue with them. I know like people like to argue with them and stuff. It's no discussion. And I'm like, just look, next time somebody's talking shit online on here, just paste my music video that I put in Twitter, like right there. That's they're going to get it. They can't respond to it. There's nothing they can say. It's the perfect comeback. Okay. Shuts down their whole conversation. But basically I made an AI music video out of it. So one of the things I'm doing, part of the reason why I expanded to Upgraded as opposed to just Poppin' Crypto is because I'm a little bit broader tech. It always kind of was on my show. Future tech, though, right? Like future technologies, and AI is one of the things I'm interested in. A lot of folks in Web3 are, because a lot of it's hand in hand. I tap into a lot of the community. I live in the Bay Area. I live in Oakland. So I go to San Francisco a lot, where a lot of the tech people are, and VCs. And, here's the thing. The same VCs who funded Web3, they're funding AI. And guess what? They'll fund whatever is the next hot button word that people want to talk about. So I'm trying to meet as many of them as I can and go to the social groups out there, social clubs. And I'm going to be, again, bringing some of that information back to my YouTube channel and my Twitter page and my social media and say, this is what I'm highlighting. You know, I just did a song for a company called Polygraph AI, where they're kind of like making good AI to seek out malicious AI and software online. And so basically they're starting with just reviews on Amazon and Best Buy. And basically like all the reviews on a product, it scans it in like 1 second and will tell you like the news score and if they're real or fake. And so like, they're pretty cool, I think, because it's like utilizing the power of AI to look out for AI that was, you know, using things to try to mislead you. So I'm always looking for anything cool and cutting edge on my channel. And if anything, it'll hopefully spark your idea to do more research.
Amazing. Well, Cassius, definitely appreciate your time. Definitely appreciate you making time to be on the Mind Your Biz channel, but also appreciate what you're doing, man. Seriously, anytime that I know you're going to be at a live event, I really do go out of my way to make sure that I can be supportive there if you're on stage or any of the events that are coming up, like any kind of NFTs or any other music drops that you're doing. Would love to know about it so we can talk about it here on the Mind Your Biz channel. But outside of just live events that are coming up really fast, are there any projects that you're aligned with? Is there anything that you're building right now? And pardon my ignorance if you know that I'm not aware of it, but has in because it's only a matter of time before one of these like really smart companies realizes, you know what, we need this guy on as an advisor or as a consultant, and we need to get him on the team, right, as an advisor.
Yeah.
Any alpha can leak there?
I do know a lot about NFTs and stuff. So actually, just coming up. So Rare Evo, I'm performing at Rare Evo, by the way. But Demu is a company that has built a music protocol on Cardano where basically it will track royalties of the songs that are on there. And so they built, in addition to that, a jukebox player. So basically like you can put in a coin and like play a music, right? So kind of like Spotify or whatever you want to call it. But like other companies can build dApps on their protocol as well. And then it tracks all the royalties of the music that's on there. So that's pretty cool. They're coming out in a couple weeks. They're going to be at Rare Evo as well. And they're using some of my music as like promotional material for their project. So Demu, D-E-M-U. I did an interview with the founder on my show. That'll be coming out here probably next week as well.
Amazing. Okay, so I'll look forward to that and seeing Demu at Rare Evo. I'll be there, of course. I don't know how much stage time I'm going to have. I don't know how many panels I'm going to be on or whatever else. Might just be doing more of a support role at this on this one. I don't know, but I will be there. So I'll see you. Be supporting as usual, right, from the audience, as supportive as possible. And of course, we'll take in the Denver nightlife. I hear it's rough out there. It's really rough out in Denver.
You're going to come to the party on the 25th. That's where I'm performing. So you'll be there for sure.
Amazing. Well, thank you again so much for being on the Mind Your Biz channel. And I need to ask, you're on Twitter and you're, of course, on YouTube. Oh. Where else? Where should people go? What do you want them to do when they get there?
So I'm verified on DeSo. That is decentralized social media. I have a song called Verified on DeSo. It's basically Web3. It's almost just like Twitter. It's a layer 1 blockchain where they built on different protocols. I mean, different like dApps to like access your information on there. You get a social token. So I'm on DeSo. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Everything's at Cassius Cuvée. The only thing that is at Poppin' Crypto is on TikTok, but I also have a Cassius Cuvée there. But Cassius Cuvée is Cassius Cuvee. You're going to find me. That's my YouTube channel. Is my name, everything. But definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's probably the best place.
Amazing. And audience, obviously, links to everything you just heard Cassius talk about are in the description. It's easy for you. Just click them. Make sure you're subscribed. Have notifications turned on. Cassius, thank you again. Can't wait to see you in person, dude. Right? The IRL events, right? Like these are the highlights of my my schedule, right? So I can't wait, man. We'll talk soon.
Looking forward to it, man. And cool setup you got there.
Thank you. All right, guys. We'll see you next time.